Hey guys, welcome to Everyday Fitness. My name is TJ, and here I want to help you get in shape to enjoy your life and your hobbies to the fullest. And that means I want you to be able to play until you're done. I want you to do your sport, whatever it is, your activity, whatever that you do that brings you the most joy and fulfillment. I want you to complete that. I want you to do it until you're done. I don't want you to have to stop playing because you're too out of shape to keep going. This week, I'm going to show you how to maximize your exercises to make sure you're getting the most out of the time you're spending in the gym. And of course, all of this will be a part of the 200-day workout. Week 22. Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you started this program from the beginning, the 200-day workout, you're at week 22. If you started from the 100-day workout, this is week 7. It doesn't really matter where you start at, the beginning or the halfway point. If you're starting now, I really need you to go back and watch last week's video. What we're doing now is the countdown exercise. It'll really explain how all this is supposed to work for this week. But like always, I've got the workout plan for the week already written out for you. I will scroll those across the screen here in just a moment. Get your phones ready. Just going to screenshot each day as they pass by. It's nothing you need a gym to do. Like I always mention, you need that pull-up bar, and I'll go ahead and put that pull-up bar in the description below here. Hop over to Amazon. You'll need that. This pull-up bar is great. You can do pull-ups, of course, on it, and you can even put it on the ground and do some great push-ups. It really changes the way you do push-ups on the ground because you can even go further if your shoulders and your body will allow you. You can go further, so you're getting more extension on that. I definitely use mine all the time. I totally forgot to record this the first time. I always remind you, consult with your healthcare provider first before you start any diet, nutrition, or exercise program. All right, phone's ready. Screenshot these now. Start off on Monday, but it's really day 1, day 3, and day 5 are basically the same exercise. Other days between those are a little more focused on core exercises. I really don't like people to get numbers stuck in their head, whether it's a weight that you can bench press, or it's the amount of push-ups that you can do, or even how much you weigh or what a measurement says about your waist. Numbers can really play tricks on your mind. They may not be a great reference of where you are physically, or they may be a metric that you're trying to reach, but you can go further. For example, in this program for the countdown method, I start off doing 10 push-ups, and I tell you to drop down to do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 between all of the sets. Personally, I can keep doing 10 push-ups on these sets all day. It wouldn't benefit me to drop down to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. The only thing I really have to drop down in this whole entire exercise is my pull-ups. But I'm going to failure at a certain point when I start dropping it down one at a time. But if I'm halfway through, let's say I'm at set number 5 and I can only do one pull-up, it's not really going to be beneficial. So what do? If you said use resistance bands, give yourself a credit, and also give yourself a weird look for talking to yourself. We're going to use these. I'll put the link to these also in the show. Hop over to Amazon, find you some resistance bands that works for you. I've been using this now for over a year. I've had no problems out of these. They're fantastic. Always inspect them before you use them. Make sure there's no broken pieces, parts that are peeling or chipping. You don't want these things to break and smack you in the face. Always secure them around something using one of these boogers here. I don't like to just haphazardly wrap them around something. I like these better. I've told you before, I don't like the round ones. The round ones will seem to slip off things, especially on people's feet. They're trying to do these row things, and that junk pops off and smacks them in the face. It's funny to watch. It's not funny when it happens to you. But, so we're using the resistance bands to give us the assistance we need to complete reps. There's a time and place for not burning out or not going to failure, but for this exercise, maximize your energy levels and your endurance so you can perform your summer sports the best that you can. That's the whole point of this. As you can tell, I'm super passionate about this specific exercise. If you're not going to failure, you don't know your limits. You don't know what you can actually do, and you're not really getting the best out of your workout. If you're curling, and that's easy, but you stop because you got your count of 15 or whatever you're doing in, you're only shooting yourself in the foot. I believe I may have talked about it in a previous video. I can't stand leaving the gym knowing that I left something on the table, knowing that I didn't give it my all, that I could have pushed harder on that last set or gone heavier. I hate that feeling. Going to failure assures that that's just not the case. This entire countdown exercise really pushes your limits on your count, your endurance. So what I'll do here is I'll slide all this camera junk back here in a moment. I'll show you what I do if I start burning out on an exercise. Using the resistance bands isn't the only way to get around burning out. There are some other things, other methods I'll show you here just as easy. I don't like to use my foot as the attachment. I've seen too many great fail videos of the band sliding off of the foot and smacking the person in the face or right in the goo-goos. So let's not do that. Let's just use your knee. If you use your knee, you're going to angle your knee down. There's nothing for it to slide off. It's just, it can't go anywhere. That's the best bet. This brand comes in a multi-pack, so you have different versions. You can use the absolute thickest for the most support, or guess what? You can double them up. So if you can't quite do a whole pull-up with this, there's no rule that says you can't use more than one. It's a lot of resistance. You may want to get a stool to help you out. This isn't even a pull-up. But TJ, you said no equipment is required. Well, you do need that pull-up bar. So let's say you don't have the resistance bands. The second best option, I think, would be use a chair, a stool, something sturdy for you to stand on that you're going to use to help push yourself up. Your legs are probably already tired from doing the free squats, so this may not be the best bet. That's why I think this is your favorite. Anyway, let's say you don't have these. You're going to use some sort of bench, something to help push yourself up, and again, do the negatives to lower yourself down. Remember, negatives, I don't want you to let gravity do the work for you. I want you to use your muscles as much as possible. If you can figure out how to do it, it's a little tricky. If you can just let the chair or the stool just hold the weight of your legs while you're doing a pull-up, that's another great option. You can't keep doing any more push-ups. What now? Try this. Number one, use your knees. Instead of being on my feet for push-ups, I'm on my knees. It takes off a lot of the weight. It does change the angle of the exercise. A little bit more like doing an incline bench press, so I'm pushing the weight up over my head. This exercise is similar. If that starts getting fatigued, try bringing your hands closer to your waist and in a little bit more. You'll work your triceps and give your shoulders a break. If that doesn't work, or you need to change it up, try doing negatives. The only thing I don't like about negatives, you have to be careful to not let gravity just do the work for you. You don't want to just fall, plop down. That's not an exercise, that's just falling with style. So what you want to do is once you're up on your push-up position, you're going to lower yourself methodically and focused to complete the exercise. Don't just drop down. And then we're going to borrow some yoga. So I'm going to use my knees, planted to the ground, and bring my body up like this. Just using my legs and my core to bring my body back. Now I'm using my feet to rock me forward, and I'm lowering down. Once you burn out on push-ups, this is a great tool. Great tool to keep doing movement, keep doing exercise, using those reps. My absolute favorite or best assistance, this way takes weight off of your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders. I think this is probably the best bet. Resistance bands. But in this case, they're assistants. Like I've said before, they do one thing, they stretch, that's it. In this case, they're stretching to pull me back up. At the very, very bottom, the maximum extension of this push-up, that's when they're giving me the most help. So down here is where they're doing their hardest work. It's just like having a really good, faithful spotter at the gym. Great way to work past that point of failure on your push-ups. Fantastic. If you can't complete the sit-ups, changing the exercise to doing a crunch, I think is fine. However, if you have a great assistance band or a rope that you could use to help pull you up, that's also another great tool. I've already got this set up from doing the actual pull-ups, so what I'm going to do is use two hands. I don't want to use one because I'm going to end up turning and working my body differently or unsymmetric. If you do that, and that's fine, on the next rep, use the opposite hand. There's nothing wrong with that. But we want to be symmetric. So if you're changing over, if you're switching hands, make sure you go back and forth equally. For this exercise, for this purpose, I want you to use an equal grip and use two hands. This is helping me complete the sit-up quite effectively. What's important, make sure you don't keep your hands stationary. Here's what I mean. I've seen folks do this and claim that it doesn't really help them. Well, you're not using the band. You're just holding your hands in the same spot. You might as well be doing this and saying, oh, these bands aren't helping. Well, that's because you're not using them. Grab them here and keep your arms where they are. So on the way down, it's pulling you up. On the way up, it's pulling you up. There's where the assistance is. So if you can't do a full sit-up, it's a great option. What about squats? Did you guess it? We're going to use the resistance bands. In this case, again, assistance bands. It's important to keep your hands stationary. Don't just do this. Now this is great for balance. So if you're warming up or if you're starting to fatigue, doing this is a fine exercise. But if you're needing that assistance, get an equal grip and let the bands help you. They're pulling me up the entire time. Give me the most help at their stretchiest moments. So down here is when they're pulling me the most, which is where you're going to be the weakest. At your maximum flex, that's where I'm the weakest. Another option if you don't have resistance bands is to use whatever frame is holding up your pull-up bar. You could use that, a countertop, a tree, a picnic table, something to brace yourself off of and to use to help pull yourself back up. I told you before I'm not going to show you that because it looks like I'm pole dancing, so I'm not going to do that. But you're just going to grab a counter, grab something, and help push yourself back up on the way up. It's just another spotter. And that's all I have for this week, guys. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and share this with a friend. Subscription is free. It's the best way to make sure you don't miss any videos. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and of course, YouTube. On this side of the screen, I'll put a link to the whole series, and on this side of the screen is a link that you can subscribe to this channel. You guys are awesome. Keep up the good work.